On December 16th of 2020, Veve released their first ever NFT on the Veve app, this being the first ever black and white Batman set, starring the Todd McFarlane Batman being the first minted on the blockchain. During this time, there was about 90 people on the app. Today is December 20th, 2022, so we are about 2 years out from when Veve launched. I wanted to take a moment and look back at the things that Veve did really well and some of the things that they could have worked on. I made my Veve account on March 15th, 2021, 3 months after the app launched. During this time, Todd McFarlane Batmans were still available in the store. There was no marketplace, no cash out, and there was no way to get your money off the app or sell your collectibles for higher than what you purchased it for. I didn't see a point in purchasing a collectible as I couldn't sell or take my money off the app yet. Fast forward to today, heavily invested in the collectibles, and I highly regret not going hard when Todd McFarlane Batmans were available in store. I've had a lot of fun on the app, and it's really exciting to see how far the company has come. But I wanted to take a moment to talk about the things that Veve could work on. So number one is timelines. So this is the first and foremost the important thing. If Veve puts out a timeline, they have to be able to hit it. And if a delay is expected, I believe that communication is key at the earliest point. This is crucial in helping to build communication and trust with the community. With that being said, yesterday we had an AMA with Mitch. Mitch is the key player on the team. There is a lot of promise with him assuring us that the team will communicate better and set better expectations moving forward. Having Mitch on the team seems like a big step forward. So number two is setting expectations. A lot of the times with AMAs on Twitter Spaces or YouTube community updates, these updates are amazing to keep the community engaged, but I believe that the team can improve by not overpromising. I understand that the team is excited and they want to share all these new features with the community, but I believe that if they release things through surprises, this is the real way to shock the community in a good way. An example of this is when David leaked the Veveverse demo inside of Twitter Spaces. And although the Veveverse was amazing and it blew everyone's minds, but imagine if we didn't know anything going into DCon and the video just appeared on your feed and people were talking about it at DCon. Just imagine how excited and surprised everyone would be. The excitement would be through the roof. So moving on to number three is language. So this is my last point of criticism surrounding the Veve team. A lot of the times we get updates or little nuggets via Twitter Spaces, either from Alex, David, or Dan popping in. And with the community diving in so deep to every little nugget during these spaces and being so attentive when it comes to the little details, I believe it's important for the team to use consistent language when sharing information. There have been some times where someone from the team has entered a Twitter space and shared some information with the wrong terminology. For example, floor price or retail price. And the community will sometimes take that information and run with it, and the community creates FUD around that. And later on, someone will have to come by and clarify what they meant. I believe this only happens because the community is so passionate and so data driven, so it is important for the team to communicate in the same way. So these are just some points that I believe that Veve can work on. However, I do want to shine a spotlight on Veve being a startup company and being so heavily involved in the community. They're doing a lot more than any other startup out there. Which leads me into, what does Veve and the team do really well? So when it comes to the app, the marketplace, showroom 2.0, or even a live event like DCon, like I mentioned in my last video, Veve has always delivered on their promises. There was a point in time where people were frustrated waiting for the Veve app, wondering if it was ever going to come. And it did. We had times where we wondered if we would get larger IP, and Veve delivered with Disney and Marvel. I believe that the team is working as hard as they can to try to hit these timelines, but due to the exponential and rapid growth of the company, different priorities have to take place so people don't get hacked or scammed or bugs could get exploited. For example, things go so much deeper than what we just see on the app. There are rules, laws, and regulations that have to be adhered by. And we saw an example of one of these incidents take place earlier this year with the gem exploit. Veve is still dealing with that to this day. So to ensure this doesn't happen again in the future, I would rather Veve take their time and do it right. I'm sure there's so much going on in the background that's being worked on to ensure that we can handle mass adoption when it does happen. And that when it happens, it goes as smoothly as possible for the new person onboarding onto the app. The track record for Veve is that timelines have not always been on track, but their promises have always been delivered on, and they've given us no reason to not trust them. So number two is securing licenses. Marvel and Disney. Do I need to say more? Not only do we have a ton of big IP on the app, but Veve continues to secure more and more amazing brands every day. The latest of note being Lamborghini and Banksy unveiled at DCon. The amazing thing is that the team is saying that they're nowhere close to being done. The hard work that we hear from David and Dan and their passion is what I believe drives this community to grow at such an insane rate. The team could easily sit back and relax on the coattails of Marvel and Disney, but they continue to work every day to secure more and more IP. David recently mentioned in Spaces that they secured some A+ brands that equate to over 50 million fans. With brands like Marvel, DC, and Disney all under one roof, if you really think about it, it is incredible, and I don't believe that it will ever happen again in our lifetime. It is remarkable that the team continues to add to their list of ever-growing IP, even during a bear market. So number three is continued growth. So this is a reason why I believe Veve will be at the top when it comes to NFTs, is they continue to work. Ecomi as a company was founded in 2018, so they've been through a couple of bear markets where things weren't going well. but they continue to work and stay resilient through the scams, fear, and crashes that the crypto and NFT space have experienced. Not to mention that Ecomi was in talks with these large companies before NFTs were even big. For example, they've been talking to a company like Disney for 2 years to secure that deal behind the scenes before people even knew what an NFT was. This is important to note as the team's vision has always been steady, and that should be something that we should be very excited about. So moving on to my last point, Veve is an app made by collectors for collectors. Now I know some people out there may argue that the app is not a collector's app and more of a flipper's app, but let me explain. Alcon, David, and Dan are a huge reason on why I invested in the app. Alcon needs no introduction. He has started some of the largest brands in the entire world. David and Dan's collecting in real life of very sought after and rare items shows us that they understand scarcity and popularity. I believe that having CEOs that practice what they create and sell is extremely exciting. It means that they are not just here for the money, but they want to share their love of collecting with the world. David even managed to convince Disney to change the way that they do business. They wanted to release a lot of NFTs and flood the market, but David told them how many NFTs they should mint to create that scarcity and want. Disney trusted David enough as a collector to shift their business practice to sell things through the lens of a collector. And lately, Veve's been doing a lot of airdrops to reward collectors for holding sets. I believe that in 2023, that will be a main focus, as we see things like the MCP rollout and really start to take shape. If we take a step back and look at the bigger picture, based on my point of Veve always delivering, we should be very excited for what the future holds. We are so extremely early, and although we'll see a lot of anger and frustration from the community, remember that the internet was also passed off as a trend, something that would just fade away. If the NFT space succeeds, like I believe it will, I believe that Veve will be at the forefront. The good, the bad, this is the journey, and I'm excited to be a part of it every single step of the way. Again, this is all just my opinion and not financial advice. So before I end off today's video, I want to give a quick shout out to Foster. I haven't been able to make it out to any of these live events, so Foster went out of his way to send me a couple of Veve t-shirts. So make sure to subscribe and follow him on YouTube and Twitter. He provides a lot of good insight when it comes to Veve and the OMI token. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and let me know what you guys think. How do you guys see NFTs playing out in the future? And I hope you guys have an amazing holiday spent with friends and family. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.